while they have very limited capacity to mitigate the level of damage. They seek the assistance of the federal government and international agencies.
The scope and the magnitude of the disaster is huge. It is unprecedented. In fact, the state has never experienced that kind of thing. The state has done its bit by providing the relief materials, but it cannot cope with the level of damage that occurred and the level of loss that occurred in those communities. And we are, as a state, calling on the relevant international organizations and also the federal government of Nigeria, especially the National Emergency Management Agency, to come and support the state in providing further relief to these affected persons.
Over 3,000 hectares of rice farm have been destroyed by flood in these communities, with several thousand more all over the country. What impact will this have on the country's drive towards becoming self-sufficient in rice production? And how do we start addressing this problem? The Dean of Faculty of Agriculture, Enugu State University of Science and Technology, speaks with us.
You find that a farmer in Thailand produces something like 6 to 7 tons of rice per hectare, while we are still grappling with 2 tons per hectare here. So what should we do? We should use improved technology by bringing improved rice seeds, that's high-yielding varieties, improved system of water management in our rice fields, making nutrients like fertilizers available to farmers, and then following the cropping systems that will enable us to produce large quantities of rice. I'm sure, with even what the surveys that we have made in Enugu State, for example, in the past 1 year, because people who were involved in the, for example, Enugu Fadama rice project, they were able to get up to 4 to 5 tons of rice per hectare because they were sticking to the extension services and then sticking to the Fadama practices that were taught to them. So if you go to Ozo 1, if you go to an area local government area, the major rice producing areas in Nigeria, you find that the rice yield has recently improved. So what we're supposed to do is to include technology. We are still very far. We need to look at planting technologies. How do we plant our rice? Instead of using hand dippling to plant our rice, we need to introduce tractors, even low technology mechanization in order to increase production, reduce drudgery, and that will help to attract youths. They will know that this thing is a profitable venture, and they can, embrace it and produce more rice. So the key to increasing or improving our rice production is to improve technology, to use improved technologies. The farmers should get relief materials in terms of supplying them seeds for the next season, supplying them fertilizers. Even if we can't supply completely, we can give them, we can reduce the rates at which they buy some of these things. And then those are the kind of things that you should encourage them with. Bringing relief material doesn't mean only bringing mattresses and this thing to support the farmers, but we look at what has happened, how will we prevent it from happening again, and then what are we going to do to help the farmers to get back to their fields.
Flooding has become a major environmental challenge in the country, which calls for a lasting solution. EZEASOR IKENNA, an environmentalist, lecturer and research fellow, Shell Center for Environmental Management and Control, University of Nigeria, and National Director of Planning and Development, Society of Professional Disaster Risk Managers of Nigeria, speaks on the way forward.
Cameroonians and in the Nigeria Republic, our neighboring countries, are having their problems about the flow of water, and most of the time they release their dams, and all these things help affect Nigeria because we are on a downhill. So our 2 rivers, River Niger and the River Benue, most of the time they are overflowing with these things. Major issue there that they are so shallow these days because of lack of dredging. if we have dredged these rivers, we might have lesser problem around flooding because the rivers are not containing the flow of water, especially with these severe weather conditions. So I think that's the major issue that brings about this kind of. The flood is a very serious environmental problem. Most of the time it has a lot of things following, from the economic aspects to the degradation of the environment. Then we talk about the life and properties. So if we don't take time, flood will mess up a lot of things around us. Major problem around us again is the increase in population, national population, the developmental programs. Most of the time they are not coordinated. People are developing on areas that are supposed to be badlands, wetlands. We're supposed to have a strategic planning manual so that we know where to develop and where not to develop. Those things are the major issues that affect the severity of flooding around this country, most especially in the delta areas, where we have low land levels there. A little thing, floodings will overflow, and most of the people are developing around the coastal lines, distorting the natural drainage system. So you expect that.
Uzuwani local government is one among the 17 area councils in the state with wetlands for various staple crops. Although the state is not listed by NIMET as one of the flood-prone areas in its prediction, residents here will, however, require urgent attention for resettlement.